Greetings everyone. In this video I want to talk about how you as a higher frequency source player and the benefits that you create in your experience is shared with lower frequency source players.
Greetings! This infinite source truth is made possible by the generous contributions and support of viewers like you. Please consider making a contribution now. Thank you.
Now, in the previous video, I talked about how source players are on different frequencies, and they're kind of like, they're on their own frequency planes or consciousness levels, and they're not really in your experience unless you include them. Well, let's talk about family members, because that's usually where the people are that we interact with, that we share our experiences with, regardless of frequency. If you are a higher frequency source player and you have manifested abundance in your life, and good things in your life, and you have shared those good things, you have chosen to include a source player wife, and you have source player children, or a source player mother, and you are including them in your abundance and your experience. Now, say they're in the red zone and they're still eating animals, meat, flesh, blood, and all of that in the red zone, and they're level 4 and they haven't even come up and made a source self connection yet. What are they experiencing with you as far as what are they experiencing of your abundance? Because they're in the same play with you. Are they experiencing your abundance? Well, yes, they are, by simple fact that the play and the set is going on the same on all levels, and they have the benefits of what you create on your higher frequency level. In other words, your house doesn't change so much, and your bank account doesn't really change so much. They are experiencing those things on their lower frequency range, even though they are not on the same level as you, unless you are making the intentional connection to them. You are sending energy connections down to them whatever level they are on, because you're interacting with the shell of them that's on your frequency level. But you can, through your intent, connect with them on the level that they are at. And you're not talking with, or you're not connecting with the matrix, you're connecting to the real source fractal. I don't say do this to just anybody. It needs to be a spouse or a child. I would not suggest doing this to someone that is not in your household. Although you could do it occasionally. But I wouldn't make a habit of it. You need to check with your source self if it benefits you. Because that connection will cost you energy from your synergy cell. Now, they will experience the better things of life because of you, because you will have an influence on their life even at a lower frequency level. Now, can choices that they make affect you? Well, that depends on you. If you allow choices that they're making in lower frequency levels to affect you, you have a choice to include them in your script or not. If they are in your script, whether it's the matrix powering it or not, it's based on whatever the frequency level is of that source player, where they really are, whatever level they are on, what choices that they are making. Children who want to be rebellious and who want to, well, let's just say they're in a drug culture and they're living under your roof, they're causing problems for you. You have a choice of leaving them in your home or removing them from your home. Now, their age will have a lot to do with what choice you have there. But does their actions affect you? Absolutely, it does affect you. But you have a choice in whether you allow it to affect you or not. Now, you can allow it to affect you a lot, or you could even remove that source player from your stage, from your home. These are all choices that you make. So, source players, I'm making a real distinction here between source players, because soulless ones are computer programming. They're computer generated responses and challenges to you in whatever level that you are in. Generally, as your frequency rises, soulless units tend to back off in their scripts to either not exist so much or to be less problem with your frequency rise. There might be a time of testing. And how you deal with it during that time of testing. Now, I will say that soulless ones, I wouldn't put up with much from them. If you are of a high enough frequency level, you can reprogram them. But again, you have to have the highest frequency level, and you have to have that ability unlocked for you. So I guess what I'm saying here is that source players will affect you more than soulless ones will, because soulless ones are programs, and your attitude and how you respond to a source player, your attitude and how you respond to a soulless program will have a different response than, say, a source player who has an unlocked script. A source player with an unlocked script can do what they like. There is no script, they're out of script. And they can influence, or they can affect you any way you put it. Soulless or source player, you have the choice on how much you allow their experiences to affect you. Now, if they're under your roof, yeah, you will experience something, and how you deal with those, the choices that you make in dealing with those situations or things as they come up in your script, in your experience, then that will determine how much they affect you. Neutrality, yes. Neutrality is good. Things will settle down faster with neutrality because the matrix is not getting response out of you. But you also have a responsibility in neutrality to set boundaries of what is acceptable to be around you and what is not. So it's something you have to have a good source self-connection and to determine exactly what it's going on. If it's a source player, if it's a soulless one, if it's the matrix testing you, putting in feelers, or if it's a source player who is exerting their influence from a lower level. Remember, it's likely that they're in a lower level, but you have to deal with, and your game is your game, and your choices are your choices. And you need to determine those who you want to remain in your experience and those that you want to remove. And it's all choices. Your frequency level does influence a lot of things. And what can manifest naturally in the law of attraction. So, If you have benefited from the information that I share in these videos, then it benefits you to say thank you with a gift via PayPal or Patreon. It is a frequency unlock within you that you can unlock no other way, and no one else can do it for you. It is an issue of flow and frequency unlock, and you get out of these videos what you put into them. It's a frequency issue within you. Abundance, health, and prosperity to you.